listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Okay, that's enough. God, it's bright in here. Isn't it bright?
It is. It feels hot.
It is hot.
I'm super nervous.
That's okay.
I'm like, I have all the nerves.
All the nerves?
I don't know why, but all the nerves.
Well, I'm a celebrity, so you're probably nervous.
I think that's it. I feel like I'm really like, I can't believe you're finally here.
I know. I finally get to be here.
Like, oh my God. Introduce yourselves. That's like the worst thing in podcasting.
Yeah, I was going to say
I'm not going to do
awkward.
our job of like hosting and everything. I'm just going to throw things at you and tell you what to say. Introduce yourself.
Right now?
Curveballs, fastballs, yeah. Like that.
Oh.
I've been on the podcast before, but my name's Brandon McCollum. This is my wife, Christin McCollum. Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Perfect.
I'm Christin McCollum.
Kristen, we have a lot. We're going to take the first 45 minutes of this episode and catch up because I don't think we've talked since like junior year.
Uh-huh.
So I just have a lot of questions
I've got
of
you
like,
beat.
Never.
So
I don't want to be the first one to talk.
do you remember me in high school? Does my voice sound weird?
yes. No, it doesn't.
You sound
you're-
sexy.
right?
Soothing.
Kind of. I just met you a few times in high school.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember you.
You do? Tell me.
Good. Yeah, let's hear that because I don't.
I don't know.
I just remember Aaron Phillips liked your friend. I can't remember his name. He was a golfer.
Okay.
Can't remember his name.
I don't remember. It was probably
Blonde hair.
Marty.
Golfing's cool.
Blonde hair?
Blonde hair. I don't know.
Boy. Aaron Phillips. I don't remember. I think I do. Yeah, see, it's going to be
You don't
45
remember Aaron
minutes
Phillips?
of us just trying to
Yeah, I'm
figure
like-
out. I do
Passed
remember.
like-
away just recently.
Really?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Drug overdose.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a thing. Right?
for
It's
sure.
very bad right now. Just in Grantsville and Tooele, it's bad.
Yeah.
All over.
It's always been that way. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of questions to ask, though. Like legit questions, not what your senior year was like in high school.
It was fabulous,
Was
and I
it?
am so sad to not be there anymore. I really did love high school.
How long have you guys been together?
Together, 16.
Yeah,
16 years?
August was 15. Married.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good chunk of time.
So married 15?
Married
Yes.
15 in
How-
August.
Okay, so how?
I died every time.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
know.
He was just a young, crazy kid.
Yeah, no, I proposed to her when I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
She was
Awesome.
21, I think. 22. Yeah, we worked at the Walmart distribution center out here. And she was the cute one on the dock. And I was the hyper special
Yeah,
crazy guy that she liked. Yeah.
that's why I liked him, because he's so weird.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed. He's
No, I
weird.
still have issues. Greg, you know that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
16 years is a
cute.
long
That's
time to be
awesome.
together.
Yeah.
And I think we asked, I can't remember if we asked this question on another episode. It doesn't matter. There's so big, like not misconceptions, but things that we, like when we're little and we're growing up, we think adult life is going to be this thing, right? And we think what being married is kind of going to be this thing. We kind of have an image of what adulthood is going to look and feel and be like in regards to these different things. And then you
Right.
turn into an adult at some point, and then you start like
Maybe.
experiencing all of these things,
About
right?
this guy.
So what about marriage now that you guys have gone through like all the ups and downs and the full experience of what marriage really holds after this long? What is the biggest thing that was like way different than you thought it was going to be when you kind of created this imaginary thing of what marriage and adulthood was going to be like?
Everything.
Yeah, nothing's what it seems. Like, nobody
Yeah.
tells you about the ups and the downs and all this other stuff. And, you know, after a few years, it's not fresh anymore, you know, and just nobody tells you all that stuff, you know. You think it's like a fairy tale and whatever else, you know. And then, I mean, it's awesome, but it's not easy, you know,
Yeah.
especially with me, probably.
Well, I think that, like you said, you used to be like this romantic with all your girlfriends, and I was such the opposite. I was like, don't open my door for me. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and he was the sweetest thing. And so I should have appreciated that, because then he started not being so romantic. And I'm like, why don't you ever? And he's like, listen, you forget. You didn't want that.
Yeah, trained me the opposite way,
Yeah.
I think.
I've
for a little
always,
bit.
yeah. I've always been the person, if somebody like gave me too much attention, I was like, what is wrong with you? Why? So
I don't know.
works out now. 'Cause
Yeah.
So do you feel like just by and large it was way harder than you thought it would be? What's one thing that stands out in regards to it just being harder?
Just like, I think remembering that you have separate lives. You don't have to be together all the time. You don't have to be jealous if they're out and you're not. Like, and I guess we've never really been bad with that anyway. But,
No, we've been really good with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think just, I don't know. He always caters to me, so I think I've gotten to this thing where it's my way or not anyway. And I think I've always been that way. But he's
That
been
might
really
be
good
one
about
of the
letting
difficult
it.
things.
I'm always
It's all
right
good.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Can you think of anything that stands out?
Just like when you first meet each other, you know, you're not living together, you're not doing all that kind of stuff, like, or at least in our situation, like you really learn who each other are, you know, and you're different than you thought, you know.
You or the other person?
Both of you,
Yeah,
you know, like there's little things of each person, you know, it's not what you thought. There's so much more to the other person. There's so much more to you when you are living with somebody, when you're with someone, you know, for that long. Like you learn a lot about yourself. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that time period because Stephanie was not the first person that I lived with.
Oh, okay.
But I remember when the first person that I lived with, the first girlfriend that I moved in with, I think I was 18 or 19, really young, had just graduated. And like nobody teaches you that process of kind of how to do that. So it's like you try to figure out how to blend together just the simplest of dumbest things of like
For sure.
how you stack towels or
Oh gosh.
all those little things that I remember. This is embarrassing. I'm glad I didn't say her name. I think I've said her name on the podcast before. Anyways,
sure
it
you
doesn't
have.
matter. She's a super sweet girl. But this is the girl that I moved in with when I was 18. And I remember, because you learn, like you said, you learn about people, right? About each other. This is embarrassing for somebody. It's probably embarrassing for me after the fact once I listen to this as I'm editing. So Craig, future Craig, delete this section. Anyways, I was going to the bathroom. I was taking a shit. And she opened the door, like she knocked, but then opened the door to tell me that my brother was on the phone. And she had like the phone with her. And I'm like, I'll talk to him when I'm done. Like, tell him I'll call him back. She closes the door, and I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, who the fuck is this person? Like, who does that? What it dawned on me just the difference in families and how you
For
kind of grew up.
sure.
Because she totally thought it was normal. For her, it wasn't. It was like, that's what you do when somebody calls, especially if you're taking a shit,
Gotta let
right?
them know.
You got to let them know. I'm bringing the phone in case they want to have that conversation. And so that was crazy to me. And
Yeah.
it was those kind of things that are just like, you learn a lot about
Yeah.
how people are.
Hey, she still doesn't walk in on me taking a shit.
No. We
And I don't do that. Like, that's our time.
literally we have
Yeah.
like
I mean, it's cool if you can do that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like, when
Yeah,
you're
like
not-
there's people that, are comfortable with that. And
Yeah, yeah.
nothing wrong with it. I think it's fucking weird, but
yeah, one of my best
Yeah.
friends was like that. Totally no big deal at all.
yeah.
And I was like, it's a big deal to me.
I'm glad you never did that.
I'm glad you don't do that either. I
It's
appreciate that.
probably
We
gonna
would.
be a deal breaker.
It was going to be a deal. I think so. I'm like, excuse you. You've seen too much.
Yes.
I think.
I mean, you
I
share
think so.
enough. You can have that moment to
Exactly.
yourself. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And if you're cool with that, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Go for it.
great.
Like
I'm
we have
just not
daughters that are
person.
okay with it.
Yeah, I'm just not that. I'm not that dude.
Yeah.
No, that's my space.
Were you pointing? Did I catch some points?
No.
No. I'm just
Pointing to me?
No.
I want to talk about the big transition that you guys are in the middle
Yeah.
of for a bunch of different reasons.
Excited to hear this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what's that?
I thought it was. I think it's Asher's
It's
phone
Asher's
downstairs. I don't think it's loud enough.
Anyways,
Somebody ringing the doorbell?
Yeah.
somebody
Did he
call.
lock himself out? Hold on.
How could he be calling his phone if he locked himself out?
It's totally him.
You can go let him in.
Oh my goodness.
Did he really lock himself
He
out?
might have.
This is awesome.
Baby, go let him in.
How old is
Go
Asher?
through the back door.
Like 16, 17?
15.
Oh, dude, I always think he's older.
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go through the other door. That he
Be
can
careful.
lock
God, that'd be so funny if she just fucking
Just ate
tramples
it on the...
and, like, drags everything with her out the fucking door. That'd be great. I was asking a question. It was a good question. Oh, this
Our
big transition.
Oh, yeah.
So, first off, you guys have your own business.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I want to talk about. Tell us what your business is.
Old Soul Furniture and Cabinetry.
Okay.
We've been in business for 4.5, 5 years. Actually, last time I was on the podcast, I talked about, I was in law enforcement. I quit that, took a big risk to do this full time. It panned out. It's been great. And now I'm bored.
And now you're bored.
Yeah. We're doing great. I'm bored.
Yeah.
What was it like for you, the experience of like, because I don't know, it's not in your background, right? Or
Our business, like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we do for a living. Actually, I am the one that started our business. So
Yeah.
I used to refinish furniture on the side. I don't know if you knew this, but I was a personal trainer for a really long time, and I was the personal training manager at Gold's Gym, and it got really demanding. Like, it was all about sales after that, and that's not why I became a personal trainer. So I decided it was just too stressful, and I was refinishing furniture on the side, so then I decided to just kind of do that full time, and he was just like, you're way stressed out, just do it. It doesn't matter, so then I did that, and I thought the biggest thing that I was going to do was like kitchen tables, was refinishing kitchen tables, because I did one for $500, and I was like, oh my gosh, I spent $500 on this table. And then I had somebody ask me to do a railing for them, and they were in the process of finishing their kitchen, but it was overwhelming for them, so they couldn't finish it. So he asked me if I would finish it for him. So I was like, sure, And I got it done super fast, and he tipped me $75 because he thought I was so awesome because I did it so fast. And he was like, I'm so appreciative. And I'm like, I might have something here, So then I posted pictures of the before and after of his kitchen after I finished it. And then I had somebody ask me, hey, can you do mine? What do you charge?
come up closer to the mic.
And and I didn't know what to charge at all. So I just decided, if this is something that I have here, so many people are interested, maybe I'll just do a handful of them for what it costs for paint and products and stuff like that, just so I can start getting pictures and showing my work. And I did 5 kitchens for $250. And then it was so much work, and I used to freaking bawl every single day because it was just overwhelming. It's a huge job, and to do it perfectly to where people are happy with it, that was a huge learning process. We finally perfected it, and now we're I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So, but anyway, yeah.
She took a big risk, quitting a job that she made really good money too, and it panned out, and I slowly started in, and then
How scary was that? That's the thing. So often people don't make that jump. Right?
Yeah.
And when you do it, I think there's too much going on, and too much stress, and too much anxiety, and so you're not really aware of what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
Because you're consciously choosing to change your life.
Yes.
You're I'm going to go this way instead of the direction that I have been going, and the direction that everybody else around me's been going. And that's a huge fucking shift. Did you have awareness of it?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember doing my first bid. I used to do them all in person, so I'd go to their house, and I remember just my heart was pounding when I was walking up to the first house. So I was going by myself to do my first bid for a kitchen. I had no idea what I was doing, but I had to pretend that I did. And I just was just so nervous until I saw the person, and then all of a sudden the nerves went away, and then I started talking about stuff I knew about, and so then that went away, and then I came home and I was like, oh my gosh, that was so scary. But I did it, and they went with me, and I finished their kitchen, and that was one of the 5s that I did for $250. And then I remember when I finally got a kitchen, it was $500. I was like, I can't believe I'm going to make $500 on this kitchen. And then it was $1,000, and then I started learning all the professional way of doing it. And these people are charging $6,000. And I'm like, what am I doing? And I would get overwhelmed, and he'd be working, and he'd come home from work, and because he worked night shifts, and he would finish some of the prep work for me, and I would just cry because I would be so thankful. So, and then he decided after we figured maybe we have something with this, and I was doing quite a few kitchens on my own, he was like, I'm just going to quit and do this with you, because he brought so much more to the business than I could even imagine. Like, I don't know any carpentry stuff. I don't know how to do any of that. So I just know how to make things look pretty, like, you know. So then it was a perfect team after that. So
It wasn't easy to begin with, though.
no.
Right?
Yeah.
No.
She started it. It was awesome when she was doing it. And then to have somebody, especially her husband, come in and she's the boss, like, it's kind of weird for her, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you just tell me what to do. I quit. I quit my job. I'm trying to do
Yeah.
this with you. Like, I'll do whatever you tell me to, you know? But it was difficult for her.
It was way hard for
Yeah.
me.
To like let go a little bit.
I'm a I'm a control freak.
At what point did it become like, I mean, at what point did you feel like you were comfortable doing it? Not necessarily, I mean, I know that like all of those nerves and like you felt confident and like we got this shit squared away and now it's running like a business. How long did that take?
Not very long.
I think the only issue to begin with, like, it was just those first two that I started full time, like, you know, because she didn't know like how it was going to go. Maybe this is a mistake, you know, like, is he going to be okay if I tell him no sometimes, or like this or that, do this, you know, like, now we're like good partners. It's probably only the first two.
Right. And now he does all the carpentry stuff. So I had this vision when he started working with me. I tell him this all the time. Like, I had this vision and it's not working out at first. I was like, I wanted you to just be the carpenter. And he's like, what do you want me to do? Just like start building cabinets for somebody? Like the first kitchen we do, it's like, it's going to take work. And then finally that vision came true. It just, you had to get through the hard part, like, of figuring out what we were both going to do and what we were going to offer. And we had so many jobs that we did when he first started doing carpentry where he was like, oh shit, what have I done? Like, I totally underbid this job and now I'm paying money to finish this job.
Yeah, it's like a huge learning curve. Especially if you haven't done it your whole life, you know? Like, I've done carpentry and construction and stuff, but like never on my own, you know? So the learning curve is good.
I think it's super cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's
Thank you.
like, you know,
And
anybody. Well, yeah, tell us about now.
No, and now we're just running away from that. Well, kind of. I don't know. Not really.
Yeah,
You know?
there's been so many people that are like, you guys are freaking nuts. Like, because we were so busy. Like, we were booked out for 8-9 months. 8-9 months.
For the
with
last 3
kitchens.
years.
And people were just like, you know, like, how much do I need to give you up front to make sure I can get your next spot? And we're like, how in the world do people wait 9 months to get their kitchen done?
And we care about what we do. We're
Yeah.
not like the shitty person you find on Craigslist or whatever, you know, like that.
That's
We're
why
not.
you're successful.
I mean, and I agree with that. And we care about what
Yeah.
we do, and we're true to our word and all that kind of stuff, you know, like we're the quality end, I would like to think, you know, so.
Yeah. And we definitely, I think, have more of a personal touch with our clients than a lot of bigger companies that do like kitchen refinishes or carpentry work in general. They kind of run a business, so then they'll just send their people out there to go do the job, but it's like our business and we care a lot about it, and then we care about our clients, and I think they can tell that part. I think.
Were the vast majority of your guys' jobs just in the county here?
Probably 60%.
60%.
We've been all over Utah, yeah.
Yeah. The job he just did today, he built a barn door, and it was
Yeah, we were out in Harriman,
and
today.
he went and installed that today.
Last job before we leave.
Mm-hmm.
Did it get bigger than you thought it would?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the thing is, so you want to talk about the next transition, right? So it was one of two options at this point, right? Either we get a giant warehouse and we hire crews,
Right.
Because we're that busy.
Exactly.
Like, either we expand and make this thing huge. If I care about money, like, let's do that, right? Or we do what we're doing.
Or big decision. What did you guys decide to do?
Never been to Tennessee except for 2 months ago.
Yeah.
We took a small vacation, and now we're just like literally moving there just to have an adventure, maybe flip houses, fix up old homes. I don't know. We can start our business there too. You know, it's big there too. But yeah, it was one of two options: either have a life experience or make this thing big and make some money.
Yeah.
What, Craig? What?
No, it's just beautiful. It makes me so happy.
Well, a lot of
thank
people, I
you.
appreciate that because like a lot of people
Yes.
talk about this, and I say it to everybody I've spoke to, you know, like when she quit to do this because she hated it, right? Wasn't supposed to be that big, just to get away from that, right? And then it got bigger. Then I helped. And then I quit something I hated. And I don't hate this. I love it, but I want something different. People aren't willing to take that risk, and it pisses me off. And I know we don't have kids. That's an issue to make big steps in life when it comes to that kind of stuff, especially like monetarily. Like if you can't pay your bills and you're taking a big risk, I get it. It's scary. But like if you jump all in, more often than not, it's gonna pan out.
Yes.
Like seriously, if you have nowhere to look forward, you can't look back. It's gonna succeed, you know. Like I mean, and so we're doing that again. I don't know anybody in Tennessee. We're leaving. I don't. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, and
Everyone's
we are a little
like,
bit.
"Oh, are you moving for family?" And we're like, "No, we're moving from family."
Have you ever been to Tennessee?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, 2 months ago. Was
I
it
get
awesome?
that.
Yeah, it was cool. We're leaving. See you
And
later.
They're like, "You just loved it," and I'm like, "Yeah, it was good."
Yeah, and up till recently too, it was the plan was live in our RV and just hang out, and then maybe find a house or figure out what we want to do
Yeah.
from there, which is cool. That was like the biggest question. It's like, hey, do you already have a house? I'm like, no, we don't. It's kind of
So-
cool, right?
What are some of the things that lead up to this decision, right? Because it's not like maybe you did, but what are some of those small steps that lead up to this point where we're going to take this business, this thing that we've created that's super
Yeah.
successful and like
And it
housing us and feeding us,
Yeah.
and we're just going to kind of throw it all on the line?
And it does kind of come in steps. It wasn't just like an overnight decision because we were
Right.
booked out for 8 months with clients that have already paid their deposit, their non-refundable deposits. So we had to kind of figure that out. Like we had a point where we had been talking about it for a while that we wanted to do something different. And so
We've been talking shit to everybody for like a year. Just joking. Just like more me than anything, but like to family and friends, like, hey, what if we just like up and moved one day? And just to hear what they think about it, you know, just like the negative thoughts and everything about it. Like, why would you do that? I've been talking shit for a year, not even thinking this was really going to come true.
So you put it out there. You
Yeah.
created it.
And literally
Yes,
here we are like a
100%.
year later of me just talking shit and then us like debating it at
Like,
night
we
drunk
should
or something
do
like,
it.
maybe we
hey,
could.
don't
Yeah.
drink.
But yeah, I mean like, and then it just slowly really did start.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there were a couple moments for me where I was real like, okay, we have to do something different. Like, we don't stain very many kitchens. I don't work with stain a lot anymore, but we had stained a few kitchens, and I am so highly sensitive to stain that I was physically sick. Like my hair was falling out, and like my fingernails started to get brittle, and like I was just not feeling good I literally felt like I had like some sort of cancer or something.
Yeah.
And it was after one big kitchen that we stained, and I was like, I will never again, ever stain a kitchen ever again. I don't care how much somebody pays me, because I was so sick. And then that just kind of never went away, the sensitivity to stain. Like if he stains a barn door, I'm like, I can't even be in the room. Like I have to be way far away from it. So for health reasons, I was just like, I don't want to be around primer and stain and paint every single day for the rest of my life. But like we're gonna fix up this old Victorian home, and that's different because not every single day do I have to be around primer or stain. And we wear respirators, but it's
still chemicals. It's not good for you to
yeah.
touch or work around that shit all the time anyway.
And now we just bought an old Victorian home that probably has lead paint everywhere.
Oh, lead
Like-
paint, especially. This house was built
Yeah.
in 1887.
Yeah.
Like,
What's the plan with that? When I saw that pop up online, I was like,
yeah.
super. That's a beautiful
beautiful-
home.
Yeah, we're so excited.
She has been talking since before we even started working together
Mm-hmm.
about like refinishing like all those old houses and movies and stuff. Like, what a dream. Like, everybody talks
Yeah.
about that, but like, how feasible is it? You know, like, is it
Exactly.
a real dream? Like, is that how about something in your hometown or whatever, you know? So she's been talking about that a lot. And I'm like, when you find that kind of house, it's like next to the 7-Eleven or the Piggly Wiggly, right? You know, like in the middle of a big city,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live in that. And then actually I found this house, and when I sent it to her, she was like yes,
I was like,
yes.
I don't even need to look at it.
And I was
Tell
like,
her,
just look at the
we'll buy it
neighborhood.
right now.
We're all right. Like, this is not what we've been talking about. This is like the perfect situation. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit what it looks like. Look at this house. And done. We put an offer. It got accepted, and
Yeah.
we're leaving.
I was kind of shocked it got accepted because I don't know if you guys have heard of Cheap Old Houses or Old House Love. They're big.
Yeah, huge
Big,
Instagram
huge
following, and they have their own
Instagram,
show on
like,
TV and everything.
They have each HGTV series and stuff, the Cheap Old Houses. And those two accounts had posted that house after we had already put an offer in on it.
Ooh.
So we were
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, that's our house.
Yeah, these guys have
like-
been hitting us up and everything now. So it's like
And
weird
they-
to buy
yeah.
something that's like,
What do they want? Do they want?
That
Holy shit! Hold
Yeah.
the fucking
Right?
Hold
Yeah.
what?
We might have to push pause. And this is big.
What?
Like, do
Yeah.
you see the potential
Yes.
for what
Oh, yeah.
exists? Where
Oh, yeah.
And it
now
just
you
happened.
guys are on the season of whatever,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So the
but
cheap,
you're doing it.
Everybody's
yourselves.
joked about
Yeah.
us doing that kind of thing anyway. And like,
I'm like,
no,
"Great,
but
you're
just
gonna
like,
be the next
but like
Chip
you
and
could
Joanna."
be
I'm
the,
like,
I mean, like
"No."
how many people
Like,
do what we do and
come
hear
on.
that probably, but like,
Right.
so weird that we just found this
Yeah.
one house that fits what we're looking for, not anybody else's idea. Because when you look at the pictures, you're like, oh fuck, okay. I hope they know. I'm like, I'm a fucker. I know this is a
We
dream.
know.
This is what I do for a living anyway. I restore shit all the time. You know.
So it's going to be way excited. But that Cheap Old Houses,
Yeah.
they're the ones that have an HGTV series.
Mhm.
And they, I messaged me on Instagram and was like, we'd love to feature your home and kind of follow along throughout the process. They have like a section on their website where they feature homes that have been restored and saved, like a home that's been saved.
Mhm.
So they want to feature us on that part. And then I don't know, maybe who knows what else from there, but
Are you gonna
Yeah.
have your own show?
Well, that's
I
the
don't
thing is
know,
we're gonna
right?
film
I was like
and
nervous to even do this little podcast. I'm like, I
yeah.
don't think I could do
It's
that.
just the beginning.
No, we're gonna
Just
do the
beginning,
whole
Christian.
journey. We're gonna start to end.
I was going to
We're
ask you guys if you do,
yeah,
like
absolutely.
personally your own stuff. You guys are going to start filming and
Yeah,
Yes.
we've never done that kind of thing, but like, I mean, this is a big deal. We're taking something from 1887 that's forgotten, basically.
Yes.
It's owned by some antique dealer or whatever right now. Like, the last time somebody lived in it was in 92. Like, I mean, like, I want to bring this thing back to life. Like, not just make it
92
modern.
was the last time it was
Yeah,
occupied.
at least
wow.
that's what I've been told, yeah.
Wow.
So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I don't want to just like, we don't want to just like remodel it, make it some weird modern thing and add our touch to it. And no, we're going to try to keep it
That's
like to its roots.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he's gotten so good at carpentry now. I know you guys have seen his stuff, like amazing. I can't even believe like what he can do now. But there was a tower on this house to begin with when it was original, like a whole tower on top. But I guess it got like damaged in a storm or something. And he wants to build the tower again onto the house, which would be so
Wow.
freaking cool.
Yeah, I'm going to
That'd be
do a
so
lot of,
cool.
we're
Yeah.
going to try to keep it to
Yeah.
its roots. Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
are you
seriously.
going to like? So do we now create a YouTube channel and we're going to start recording everything and you guys have to start vlogging? And
I don't know how to
we're
do
gonna that
YouTube and
whole
vlogging
9
and
yards?
stuff, but yes, I'm definitely going to record everything we do just because it's so neat. Like, it's really cool. Like, I can't stop watching that stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know, but, yeah, I don't know how to do like vlogs and stuff like that.
I have a feeling you can figure it out.
You think?
No,
I think
we'll
so.
figure it out
You
for
seem
sure.
to do that. I'm going to decide this thing, put my mind to it, and it
It's gonna
happens. So
Well,
you'll be
thank
She
fine.
can do it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we can do it.
I
Yeah.
wonder if
You
we
both
should
can.
put him in touch with Our Lady that we have in the reality TV place.
It's worth
we
a
should.
shot.
That
We
would
know
be
a
cool.
lady.
That would be cool.
So why maybe? Maybe
Right?
we
I
should. How about
remember.
we do?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Because you guys need
Yeah.
a production company, right?
Yeah.
The time that you're going to be able to invest into this home and all these things that you're going to do and all the things that you have to learn to do this project, that's going to take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
You don't need
Oh,
to
yeah.
stress about trying to create a fucking YouTube channel
No.
or anything like that. Let's just bring in a production company to do everything.
Yeah, seriously.
That would be
Right?
Because
cool.
like we're gonna do that
Yeah,
to
that would
begin
be
with.
really
I mean,
neat.
we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll shoot her a message.
Cool.
that'd be
Thank
cool.
You.
That'd
I'd
be
appreciate
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know his sister, Shandy Hayden, Mark's wife.
Oh yeah.
She is like way big on Instagram too. She has a home decor account, but so she's really, really, really good with that stuff too, on how to like, you know, represent yourself on social media and stuff too. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, basically it
she's-
feels like we're kind of like rebranding at this point of
Yeah.
what we're doing and like going away from like we're still going to get licensed as contractors.
This is
and
fucking
everything out
crazy
there.
to me because I feel like I don't mean to interrupt you. That's
No.
great. I'm really happy. That's
Yeah.
good. To get a license to be a contractor.
Yeah, we can get our dinner.
Yeah, we're
now.
gonna
That's
get
super
licensed.
cool.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. But like the potential for what this has, and you can like see, like you can see your guys' story, right? You can see your story, and you can see where you start from, and you're like, we had these jobs, fucking hated it, not hated life, but it was like, come on, and then we quit those jobs and create this amazing business for ourselves, and then we want the next thing, and we want to grow more, and we want to expand more, so we decide to do this other big thing, and you take old Soul Furniture and Cabinetry and turn it into this beautiful fucking brand.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everything could change from here. Like we
Right?
still
It
have an
could.
idea, maybe like just starting our business again and doing it little by little, or
Yeah.
maybe we go back to. I'm just saying,
Let's
like,
go big.
Right.
and I feel that way too.
Right.
But
We've always known whenever we want to do something, we're not scared because we know the type of personalities we
yeah.
have and we will make it work no matter what. No matter what, like it will work. So we weren't even that nervous to do it. Like people think that there would be all these nerves. Like why would you quit what you're doing? Because we were making
Yeah.
such good money with our business and we were booked out for so long.
Mhm.
But it's just like we can do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And I mean,
Just-
there's a little bit of nerves as you like actually start making those commitments, you know?
I know when I first did the
yeah.
post, I was like, should I do the post that we're not taking clients anymore?
Yeah.
And he's all, just wait, just
I've been
hold
telling
on.
her for 3 months, just hold
And I'm
off,
like,
hold off until
yeah.
like the final things are
Yeah.
for sure.
And
you
I'm
know?
like, I know you got to burn all the ships, Brandon. Burn the ships. I got to do the post right now.
yeah.
And he's like, hold on, let's keep one ship alive for just a second, just in case.
And then the time came and it's like, let's torch that motherfucker.
Yeah. He's like, do the post. And I was like,
Yeah.
we're not taking clients anymore.
So it's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the closer it gets, the less nervous I get.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're both the type of person that, like, if you would have asked us to be on this podcast a month ago, I would have been way nervous because I don't like stewing on things. Like, I don't like thinking, what if this? What if that? What if this?
Yeah,
what
yeah.
if that? But, like, if someone's like, hey, do you want to do this with me tomorrow? And it's, like, some crazy thing. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm, like,
The
no nerves at
spontaneity.
all. Let's just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
This thing that you guys have where you're like, we'll make it work no matter what, right? We won't fail. Where does that come from? Like, is that something that you guys feel like you had separately and you kind of, that's part of each of your characters, or did it grow as a couple?
I've always been the crazy type of guy, right? But like I said at the beginning, you learn things about each other, and I think she changed me more towards that. Because while I was crazy on the outside, I was still the guy, especially at a young age. Like I quit high school to like work full time so that I could make money. It was more important for me. I was always at that point in my life the guy who was like, oh, I'll just get that 9 to 5 and work my way up, and I'm cool with that. And then retiring and whatever else. She's the one that changed me for the opposite. Like, do other things, do bigger things. She changed me for the better for that. I'm crazy, like when it comes to that kind of stuff, and spontaneous when it comes to that kind of stuff now because of her. She like, I don't know what it is, but made me feel like I could take the risk, you know, like there's more, there's something else, you know, something bigger. Yeah, she changed that in me for sure.
I didn't know that.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Where do you think you got it?
My mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's always been, she literally raised us, and he says this to me all the time, like, do you think you live in fairy tale land? And I'm like, yes, I do, and I don't want to leave. But she raised us to be like, everything was super special and important. Like, we were everything. Every holiday, everything was super important and special. And my dad was working all the time. My dad was always working. My mom has 5 kids, and she's taking care of everything. And we moved into an old house when we were young, and she redid all of it herself. She literally she re-shingled the roof at 8 months pregnant. Like, she was amazing. We repainted that house so many times. Like, it was, yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah,
I
you
just-
definitely get that
yeah.
from your mom.
And
your
I
dad
wish
was
she
always an
still
entrepreneur,
knew
too.
how awesome she is. Now she just kind of, she doesn't remember how awesome she is.
I need to fucking produce Netflix shows.
I think so.
Like, we had what's her name on? Do you remember Andy? Andy was on. You know Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Andy was on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Oh, yeah,
back
I
in
know
the day.
Andy.
And she keeps fucking telling us her story, and we're like, this is, I mean, come on already,
Oh,
right?
seriously. She's got
And
a crazy
you're
story.
sitting
yeah.
here talking about moving into an old home when you were a kid and your mom refinishing all of it. And then it's just like this beautiful journey to where you're at today in your life and what you're going to recreate.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. I mean, that's beautiful. That's so
Thank you.
fucking cool. Have you ever thought of it that way or ever seen it that way, kind of?
Yeah, I think about it all the time. My mom's had quite a few health scares, and I just think she's amazing. And so I think about that a lot, how she shaped me. And seriously, my mom lived with us for a while when she first moved back from South Carolina, and I could not handle it. I was like, I cannot wait until she can freaking get out of this house. Like, I can't handle it. She's so lovey and like wants to touch me constantly and like sit right next to me and watch the movies I'm watching, and just like, I need space. Like, as much as I can be a social person and I love my mom more than anything, I still cannot handle being constantly, like, just touched. And
You just need space.
Yeah, right. And so, anyway, I think about that a lot because I'm sad that I was wanting her to move out so badly because, you know, you need your own space. That's all. I'm sorry, Mom. I just need my own space. But I love you more than anything.
Well, I know Stephanie can relate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With this guy?
No.
What else was I going to say?
I don't know. You've stumped me now.
Yeah.
I stumped you, yeah.
Well, that's where,
Call me.
for me, that's where I get it.
Yeah, you definitely get it from your mom.
And also, I was like, I don't know if I was OCD when I was a kid or something, because my mom, she's an artist. So she can paint pictures. She can do all the artistic stuff when it comes to that. I can't do that artistic. Like, I don't feel like I can anyway. I've never really tried, but
Your stick figures are on point.
yeah, really good. I can see a big picture and like finish a whole thing, but I can't be like my mom, like where she's detailed everything, you know. But then I look at her work when it's like bigger stuff that you want it to look really pretty, and I'm like, I cannot believe she can handle saying that that's done. That looks horrible.
Yeah.
So I think I was always watching her work and then being like, I could do that better, or she'd have me do the finished part. Like, she'd be like, you're my one that can do, like, finish it and make it so much better. So why don't you finish? And I think that made me feel special. So I make it so perfect. So, yeah, I don't know.
You guys have had to, learn a lot of new skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to do all of these things and create this business, and not just from the business standpoint, but then also from like the actual work standpoint. I know when you were on back in the day, Brandon, you talked about just kind of like having to figure out how to do these things that, you know, you kind of had a general sense of. But this is something that I've thought about lately because honestly, it's because of our stupid fucking van. And I hope she didn't hear me.
I hope not too.
We really love her. She's super sweet, but she's a fucking...
Your van?
Yeah. It's frustrating. Anyways, I'm not a mechanic, right?
Okay.
Sure.
I wasn't ever a mechanic. Like, I'm not a car guy. I like cars. I'm a hell of a fucking driver. Like, Ricky
So you
Bobby
think.
is no, not so. I think I'm legit a fucking.
Steph?
He's legit.
I could very easily be in whatever NASCAR.
Also scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'm a
Shake
legit
and bake.
fucking. Oh God. Anyways, but other than that, I'm not a car guy, and so I was never a mechanic. And
really
over the
good.
course of my adult life, I've had to learn shit, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's too expensive sometimes, and so it's like I remember just learning the process of how to change my oil and do all these kind of different things. And now I'm at the point where I'm doing like legit mechanic work on that van, and
He was close. She about slipped. There was a name there. I saw it. That van.
that van, yeah, that motherfucking sweet red ass van. Anyways,
What the fuck?
how was that process for you? Because a lot of people don't do that, right? Especially when it's kind of, it's not life or death, but you guys have the stakes are higher in your circumstance than, do you know what I mean? Just like, oh, I think I want to learn some new skill set.
For me, it's like something that I know I can do, right? I have the general knowledge, like you said. But I'm not the type of shitty human that there's so many of them in the contracting, right? That's like okay with shitty work. Like I will do it 120 times and pay 8 times the cost on my bill, like just so that I give it and it's correct, you know? So like trial and error, man. And like, I just make it perfect all the way through every time. Like, it doesn't matter if it took me 30 times and I had to redo it. Like I'm not okay with giving something half-assed. So like, If I have to learn, I'll do it all the way up, put my time in, and then till it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just having like general knowledge at first, or kind of like a little bit, like you've done one tiny thing and then you get a little confident with it and then you can expand from there.
Yeah.
But really, my advice would be, and this sounds super cliche, but honestly, fake it until you make it, because in your brain, you're already there. And so you're already who, you know what I mean? Like, just fake it till you make it. Because you've got to start somewhere. You can't be like, I have to be a professional before I can start this. Because you're never going to become a professional if you don't have so many trial and errors.
Yeah, not everybody gets shown everything, like.
Yeah.
I didn't start working for some Finnish carpenter for 6 years and then passed it on to me, I didn't take that route. So like I passed that spot, especially if I wanted to start my own business. So I had to learn that spot on my own. Mm-hmm. She did her stuff on her own. Like nobody taught us shit.
For you guys, this is your life. So it's your life, so it doesn't seem like anything other than that, right? But from on the outside, I don't think you guys understand how rare your experience is, because so few people do what you guys have done. And like, I don't know if you ever get the opportunity to, but just like step back and look at everybody else in society and the way that they live and the way that they structure their life and everything, right? And then look at how different it is from the way that you guys choose to live and the decisions that you choose to make.
Yeah, that's true.
Looking at it from the outside and seeing that is the exact reason why we do what we do. Mm-hmm. I'm not that person. I thought I was maybe at one point, and she changed that in me. She's never been that person. Like, we constantly look from the outside view and see that, like, just another cog in the machine. Like, oh, that's not me. I'm not doing that ever in my life.
Yeah. We could have continued our business, and we were going to get warehouse space, and we were going to hire employees, and we were going to expand that way, and one day step back and just have our employees do everything for us. And we still have the idea that we're going to blow up whatever we end up doing next, but we ran into that moment where like we literally have to make a decision right now, because we cannot continue to do all the work ourselves. We just can't. Although people are willing to wait 9 months, it's just when you're scheduled a kitchen and then the next week's another kitchen and the next week's another, week after week after week, and if you're behind on one, then you're behind on all of them, and then you feel like you're not giving your attention to every client like they should get. And
working 7 days a week,
yeah,
fucking 80 hours, it's like, it's insane. Eventually it catches up to you. The money doesn't really matter, and then in the end of the day, it's always for somebody else.
Right. So
like what we're about to do, it's like on our terms, it's for us. We've never done that.
Yeah. Because we always step back and look at the project when it's done and just like, I cannot believe that this is the same kitchen, or I can't believe this is the same room. And like, it's so different when it's for yourself. But also, when I do things for myself, it's never as good as I would do for a client ever. I'm like, don't look at my stuff. This is not how it's going to be done.
That being said, I mean, like, this is the job.
Yeah, this house
is the job.
Is our job.
I was going to say, is that kind of the mindset, as this is now going to be the business,
yes,
and this is the thing that's going to create financial freedom for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
absolutely.
For sure.
This is going to turn into other bigger things, other avenues, other house flipping or restorations or rebranding and doing something else and doing a show, or I mean, whatever. Yeah. But
you don't know until you get started. Like, and I think that's what we've learned through some things that we've done throughout life. You have to make the first step, and then you'll see what can happen next. Because
you can't
once
always
you're in
have a
it,
plan.
then you see. You're like, oh my gosh, this could lead into this. He did his first barn door, and he looks back on it now and thinks they weren't as good as they are now. Like, he thinks that they're shitty compared to what he did. They were still awesome, but now he's on a different level. And he never knew that could become such a big part of what our business entailed. Like, and that his barn doors just blew up too. So it's like, you don't even know. He quit law enforcement. Like, he's just such a happier person. Like, literally, you would not have known he was the same person a week after quitting that job. That was a horrible, horrible
Yeah, we talked about that last
If you're
time
in law
on the
enforcement,
podcast.
get out.
That's what I tell
Just
people
get
all the
out.
time.
Yeah, because Greg, you were in it for like we
Oh,
worked
yeah,
together a little
that's right.
bit back in the day
That
too.
is
Like,
right.
it's not a good place for most people.
Do you feel
Yeah.
more like who you like? I have found that I feel more like myself, and it's not even a matter of like, I mean, it's like finding who that myself is. And so
Yeah.
it's like I feel more of that person than I ever have before. But that person is somebody that I'm fucking like exploring and figuring out along the way. But it's like that process is so much more connected, and I feel so much more myself than I ever have before.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. When every time I make one of these big jumps in my life, I feel like it's not starting over, but figuring it out like a little more, you know, or not starting over, but just, yeah, like finding a little bit more about yourself or becoming more of who you want to be or whatever, you know? So,
Yes. You definitely have chapters in your life where you're not even the same person.
yeah. And I think like when we moved to Tennessee, I mean, this is all going to change again. We don't have any friends.
Right?
I don't know anybody there. I mean, we're going to work on this
Yeah.
house and I'm going to find a gym because obviously you and I know like jujitsu's a passion. MMA is a passion
I
for
was
me.
thinking about that last night.
No, I've already got schools mapped out, man.
I know, but I
where
was
I'm going.
thinking about-
I'm going to go crazy if I don't have that.
Yeah.
because you're fucked now because you have to go in as a black belt.
Dude, I
Right.
know.
He said
I
that. He was
know.
like, I
keep thinking about
almost
that.
a little bit sad because now I'm a black.
Last night when we were done, I was sitting there and I was getting a drink and I was sitting there thinking about you, and I'm like, oh, I bet he's already found some place or he's checked some place out.
Yep.
And then I pictured you walking through the door where you're like, I'm a black belt. They're like, get the fuck out.
I know. So I've already got it
Weird.
scoped out, and I talked to Brian Cole about this too. Like, he's like, here, look, this is what you do, dude. You just go to the no-gi day, so you don't ever have to wear your belt at first. Nobody fucking knows. Just you're
Right?
the new guy.
Exactly.
Just don't go in there talking shit. You do you, and then like one day show up to gi and be like, hey,
Yeah, this is mine.
yeah. But you know how the jiu-jitsu community is. It's all cool.
It is
Like,
cool,
I
but
mean,
you
everybody's
also
like a
know
tight
they're going to
family.
be like,
Dude.
you got to fucking figure out if
Right.
that guy's really a fucking black belt.
I'm gonna. Oh, I know.
And you know
And
how that
having
process
just barely
goes.
got my black belt right before I moved to Tennessee is a little.
Fucking awesome is what it is, brother.
It's
fucking
cool,
It is.
and I appreciate that.
I'm very
It's been
proud of
something I've wanted for 10 years, 11 years. You know, like a long time. But maybe it could have happened a little later. I don't know. Now that I'm moving, I'm like, fuck, these guys are
Yeah.
gonna fucking test me.
What are you?
That's cool.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say what you might not know about Brandon. He's actually a super humble person. Like, he doesn't like to be celebrated. And I am such the opposite. I'm like, it's my birthday and I want you to do all of this stuff all
Yeah,
week long
that's
for
true.
me.
That's true.
And he's like, yeah, he's just very humble. Like, this is awesome success in his life. And he just is like, yeah, you know, what were you going to say?
What are you going to do? So he's got jujitsu. That's where he's starting. Like, what are you going to do?
I don't know. I'm a runner. I like to run a lot. And I think I'm just going to just explore what it looks like out there and find some paths. And I want to find a good gym too. Just like not jujitsu, obviously. I don't even know how you guys do that.
I've tried to get her to come to jiu-jitsu or kickboxing. It's
No.
not gonna happen.
Not my thing.
She hates it when I try to wrestle her at home. She's
I'm like, don't.
pissed. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're more like the physical, like cardio. Like,
yeah, I would like
yeah.
CrossFit and stuff like that. Like I said, I was a personal trainer for I think 9 years is what I did, but like I've lost that part of myself for a while because our job was so physical that I didn't need to do like weight training anymore. But for mental reasons, I continue to do cardio because that's like my medicine. Seriously, like it literally is. I don't know what I would do if I didn't work out. I would be on medication if I didn't work out. I would for sure.
Yeah. You'd
But
be crazy if you
it
didn't
calms
work
me.
out.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing if I don't go to the gym and choke somebody or have
Yeah.
somebody punch me in the face. Like,
Do you
I'm
think you'd
different.
be on? Do you think it's the OCD? Is that what you think?
I do obsess over things more when I'm stressed out. Like
Yeah.
I can't even have him help me make the bed because I'm like, you're doing it wrong. Like, but I've gotten literally so much better at that throughout my life, but I catch myself now. So I think it's a good thing that I have like an internal monologue that tells me like, Christin, what are you doing? It's a freaking bed.
I just
Why
barely
can't you
apparently
make it?
learned how to fold her shirts
Yes.
properly.
It was
We've
like a
been married-
moment. I was like, did you fold these?
Yeah, she
like,
congratulated me the other day, like a month ago, and I was like, "Oh, thank you."
This year, I think it was this year. It may have been last year because
last
last
year.
year was a shit show, right?
It was last year.
Last year was like fucking. I mean, for us,
We
it
all
was
know
just
what
a
it was.
fucking nightmare shit show, and not. It was a fucking horrible year. Anyways, for whatever fucking reason, Stephanie decides that she's going to take it upon herself to learn a new fucking way to fold towels. I'm saying fuck a lot. It's a
It's
beautiful
okay.
thing. And
That's
it's
Fred.
It wasn't just
Language,
towels.
too.
It
It's
was
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Towels.
Marie Kondo.
Yes.
Is that who it is?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. And so
Save so much room.
now everything
Yeah.
has
So
changed.
nice. I love.
And then it's like time for me to fold towels, and I'm just gonna fucking fold towels like I have.
You
my
don't
whole
fold
life.
towels.
Yeah.
It's like a
I
cotton
don't
candy
anymore.
machine. Just
No,
Oh, dude, I'm good at folding towels.
so am I.
Yes.
That's the only thing she would
That's
let
the
me
only
do
thing
for
I'd
a
let
while.
him do for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know why. What's wrong with me? I don't know. So
It's
many
OCD.
things.
Yeah.
So many things. Yeah.
It's OCD stuff.
okay, I hear you. Sometimes.
And what's weird about that, I think, is that you choose the weirdest things to obsess over.
Yes.
It's like, why? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think growing up, with having so many siblings and like living in a small house that was never finished, like I just felt my space was always perfect. Like my mom said when I was little before school that I would make sure and fix all the pillows on the couch before I'd leave, when I was little. So I think that's where mine comes from. I just not feeling in control as a kid. And I think and he allows me to be that way, so.
It's because he's too fucking ADD all over the fucking place.
yeah.
I was like, we got
I know.
anxiety meets ADD.
I
Yeah.
have all that. Yeah.
That's all right.
I got problems.
Yeah. But
I think it's cool to see. Like, have you guys ever looked at kind of how? No offense, obviously. Like these two know me enough, but no offense. Like your fucked up parts
Oh yeah.
somehow fit together and worked in conjunction, as well as obviously in negative ways.
Yeah.
Because we spent a big portion of the beginning of our relationship and our marriage was our fucked up parts, like fucking each other up more.
Yeah.
And just a lot of chaos with our fucked up parts. And now we're at a phase where we've seen those fucked up parts actually start to heal the other fucked up parts of each other. So it's like this beautiful shift where we had to get through that part of just hammering the fucking that sweet minivan right off the road into the ditch. And now it's flipped.
Yeah.
So
Not the van.
not the
Well, you learn, I think, that you can, I guess, I don't know what, sympathize, I guess, maybe, if somebody's just as messed up as you and you're like, yes.
Just in other ways, a little bit. You know. I mean.
Yeah, like, we don't even know where we got it, why we're so weird.
Yeah. I'm weird.
What do you think's the weirdest thing about you? We asked each other this question
Yeah.
last week, but it's like,
No, that was a special. It's like, what do you think you can do? It was a confidence.
I know,
You
not
didn't
the
say
weirdest
what's
thing,
weird.
but like,
If you'd have said that, I could have answered that.
Like, so many things.
What was the question then?
is there something you do that nobody else does, like on the entire planet, like something so unique and maybe weird about the way you do something, or something that you do specifically that you think there's no fucking way out of 8 billion people somebody does this as well?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like maybe you chew your toenails off or something like that.
I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awkward as. Yeah.
I know. Brandon,
I don't know why I just
Brandon
admit
does
that.
this weird thing with his fingers.
No, like you say, I'm OCD too, but I'm weird. Yeah, like I have things too.
Little tick.
But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, I think everybody, or the majority of people do, right?
I think,
But I don't think there's
Yeah.
one thing that I do, or at least that I'll admit, right? That, like, I don't think anybody else on the planet does. I mean, do I?
I don't know.
I mean, you see how weird I am, and I see how weird
Yeah.
you are, but I don't think that there's, like, you're the only person out of 8 billion people.
know.
we couldn't come up with anything
I know, that's why I was just like,
because it just seems so hard to imagine. First off, 8 billion is a hard number to
Yeah.
imagine,
that nobody.
right?
Right.
And then how similar humans are and the way that we
Right.
kind of get into.
I-
So I had a hard time thinking of something.
I don't know either. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I could-
everybody has some weird thing. I
What
know.
about just as a couple? What's the weirdest thing about you guys?
Yeah,
We're
I
just
don't-
weird.
yeah, we're just weird. I don't know if we're like.
I think we're
not like the
can
traditional
speak to
couple,
Each
like-
other. I was like, do you
Yeah.
think we're psychic sometimes? I always tell him I think he's psychic for real, but I think we can literally talk to each other by looking at each other's like. And then we started doing this thing like when we travel, like if something was good, we'd be like, if it's really good, we start growing our thumb. If it's really good, it's like you just keep growing your thumb. because you can't talk on the plane if you're watching like a movie and stuff. So we just like, I think that's where we created a language.
Yeah, I think, well, we've been together for a long time, you know, like 16 years together, basically. I mean,
creating a language together.
Yeah, exactly. I know her
Yeah.
body language. I know what she's about to say. If she's like, we're talking about
Right.
something, like, I can finish that last word of her sentence
Yeah.
sometimes, you know? And it's like, oh, are you psychic? I'm like, no, I know what you're about.
But
I know who you are.
You're
you know?
psychic in so many ways. Like, I think a lot of people could be if they would just like listen to things. Like,
We think everybody is.
yeah, for
They're
real.
just- yeah.
Yeah. Because he'll be like, I don't know why my dad hasn't called me. Oh, there he is. Like, you know, all the time. Like, have you talked to Pamela yet or whatever? And then, oh, there she is. I'm like, I used to feel like I was as a kid because I'd sit in the car and wait for my mom to come out of the grocery store, and I'd sit and I'd sit and I'd sit and I'd be like, I can't wait any longer. As I'd get to go out and she'd walk out the door. And I'd be like, every single time I was like, I'm psychic.
Yeah.
What do you think it is, Brandon?
Dude, I don't know what it is.
I think
I
he's
feel like
a
I
huge
said,
empath.
like, yeah, like we're both really empathetic people. Like, I don't like to show my emotion a lot. I mean, unless it's anger or happiness. Like,
Right.
it's just the way I am.
Just the safe
But,
ones.
yeah, exactly. You know, like, yeah. But like I said, we've been together for so long, you know, that like, I know who she is, you know, like I can read when she's pissed. Oh, at this point, I better be able to read if she's pissed off, right? I mean, like,
I never get mad. I don't know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
I know. I'm actually really always the angry one. Like
I really
said.
don't get angry very often.
She
I literally
doesn't,
just
yeah.
am like, hey, if he starts to even like talk to me a certain way, I'm just like, do you? And then he'll be like, start talking differently. I don't even have to say anything. I'm just like,
yeah.
but
No, I don't know
that
if it's a psychic
you work
thing.
on.
Like I said, it's like
Are both
we know
your
each other.
are both sets of your parents still together?
My parents, yes.
my dad died when I was
Yeah.
19.
I never even met her
Yeah.
dad.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
And my mom's still single.
yeah, yeah.
But
my
his-
parents are together,
His parents, I
They're
remember
weird.
when I no,
and I know they're
love
gonna
them.
listen to this shit. And be
I
like,
love
okay,
them so
cool.
much. And I've told them this before. But when I met his parents, I was like, how can somebody be married that long and still always want to hold hands, still always give
Mhm.
each other kisses? Like, they're literally an example of what
Yeah,
a
that's
real
true.
relationship
Really?
should be. Yes, they're very, they're
That's
just,
unique. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
Like,
gross, but it's
Yeah,
cool.
when he
gross
still
when it's
opens,
your parents.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, but I think
It
I
is.
used to be that way, and I'm not that way
Yeah.
anymore. I don't know, but
We still
maybe I
seriously
should
like
come
make,
back around.
we're
I
like,
don't
look at
know.
that couple walking around holding hands. Why would you want to walk down the street holding hands with somebody?
Like, how awkward. And then we go
And
to
then we catch
Tennessee
each other
and we're
holding
like
hands.
walking down in like all these trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this is cool. Like,
And
we're
they're
like,
like,
oh,
oh,
hey, you
shoot.
remember when we said that was gross? Like, ew. Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
but
Hmm.
I don't know. His parents are awesome, but I think they are an example of love.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I first met his dad, I was like shocked at how much they look alike. They're like twins.
You do look a lot like your dad.
Yeah, he still prides himself on thinking it's like everybody calls him my brother. And I'm like, dude, that
Don't you
dude.
just fucking love dads? I think about that all the time because I'm a dad, and it's like,
Yeah.
God, I mean, I love my dad, and I hate when I'm like my dad. It's like this whole thing where I used to despise being like him in any way, shape, or form, and then
I get it.
That transition to like indifference. And then it's like this love-hate relationship now where sometimes I'll see my arm, like I'll just catch my arm as I'm like doing something, and then I see my arm and it looks like my dad's arm.
Mhm.
And there's a part of me that makes me really, really happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another part of me that's like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't want,
Yeah.
to look like my dad's
Yeah.
arm. Because if
I get
my
it.
arm looks like my dad, then that means I fucking look like my dad.
Yeah.
I
Nothing
get it,
wrong like
you know.
looking
I
like
get
your
it.
parents.
Same way.
Yeah.
I used to there's so many things I hated about my mom, like that bugged me. Like she hums everywhere she goes, she hums, and I'm like, oh, can you stop humming? And I'm like, oh, now I'm just like my mom, like I do it. And then like all these things, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just like my mom. Oh my, all these things that I couldn't stand. And I'm like,
Yeah.
just like her. I'm exactly like her.
Yeah, you do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And she hates it. But
Yeah.
One of the
what it
things
is.
that Steph and I have, we pride ourselves on this. I think we pat ourselves on the back for it because of how difficult some of our relationship has been over the years. But we have,
Yeah, we get it.
we have evolved together, where it's not just as the relationship has grown and it's, flourished and evolved and everything like that, but as individual people, we're vastly different today than we were when we first met. So we've evolved together, and that probably looked very similar to what evolution looks like. It's just a clusterfuck, right?
Sure, yeah.
Like fish fucking frogs. And
Yeah, it was
a
weird.
stuff.
Like you wouldn't even. Yeah.
Exactly. It was a nightmare. What has that been for you guys? Because I think obviously everybody does it, and some people just don't, aren't aware of it. Not everybody does change, actually. Not everybody does evolve. But I think for the most part. What has that been like for you guys? Have you been aware of that? That like...
It's difficult. Like I said, like she's changed me for good in so many ways. But I mean, it's like not easy. Like
No.
I used to get so angry and just black out just because I was so pissed off at things. And just like she changed that for me. Like, but it wasn't easy. I mean, it took time. I had to work on it. She had to tell me to work on it. We had to help each other. Like,
Yeah.
things evolve together, like you said, Sometimes I don't think the small things you really understand until you're 15 years down the road, maybe, that like, oh, yeah, I did used to do that. And it's like we changed slowly and I never really saw it, Like,
I think patience is a huge thing, and not taking everything personally, because every time somebody's taking something out on you, it has nothing to do with you. Ever. It's always about them. So I always think that all the time. It really takes a lot to upset me, because I always am like, put it back on that person. Like, it's like they're struggling with something. So just give them some patience. I mean, like, they're not intentionally trying to be, angry at you or whatever. So I think that's huge. Is just being able to recognize that and just be patient.
What are some of the things that you guys do? I mean, there's an aspect of it where you guys are talking. I find it like sometimes it's glossy, right? It's glossy and it's not perfect, but it's like we have this glossy vision of what a marriage like your guys is. You're happy, apparently, right? You guys seem happy, seem like you're in love.
yeah.
For now.
We'll see what Tennessee does.
And we've talked about some difficult things, and
Yeah.
yes, it's hard, and we acknowledge that, but it's kind of just this glossy look at what it is, when in reality it's not, right? In reality it's really fucking difficult, and it's not glossy. So what are some of the things that you guys have done to get through that, like to get through those periods and to continue to grow? Like, what are some actual practical things that you guys have tried and done and work and that you've kind of incorporated?
Just having patience with each other, man. Like, I mean, I haven't been the most patient person in the world, and I don't, she hasn't either, but I mean, like, willing to give and take a little bit and like see each other for who they really are, and accepting the things that are not necessarily like the worst things about somebody, but like you can live with. Like, you just know that that's the person, and like certain things that make people happy, and like I do this and you do that, and like we each have our own time, and like, I mean, just the give and take and the patience with each other. And
Yeah.
And
I think a huge thing too is remembering that what they're saying to you is important to them. So even if it's not to you and it's something so off, like that you could care less about at all, it's important to be like, yeah, that, like, let them know that you're listening to what they're saying, even though you don't even care. But
that's
it's
true.
huge.
I blank out a lot.
Yeah.
She's the one saying it, but literally, like, I have to tell her sometimes, like,
I didn't hear anything you said. What?
literally stop. I don't even have to be on my phone, not watching TV, nothing. She'll just be talking, and it's super important. And I'm an asshole. I know. I'm sorry, but
No.
like, even sometimes, like ADD, man, like that. She'll have to repeat a story 3 times sometimes because I'm like, yeah. And then she'll still be talking, and I come back, and I'm like, I didn't hear anything you said.
And I'm like,
what'd you say?
"Dang,
And
I
she's
have
like,
to repeat it again."
you.
It's fine. But I don't
Yeah.
take offense to it because I know it's not him purposely doing it. He's just ADHD. He's just, that's the way he is.
Yeah.
Where
So-
are we learning these good communication skills? Where are we learning this, like,
trial and error, man. Like, ain't nobody telling me this stuff.
I think it's much easier without kids.
It
I'm just
has
saying
to
they're
be.
actually
Honestly,
able to talk, and you're not just
honestly
trying to
might-
It has
survive.
to be.
For sure.
Like,
It
there's
really
so
might
many
be.
things.
Right?
Yeah, there's so many
Yeah.
things we've done in this life. Just
See
and
how
most people
fast
are like,
you
oh,
evolve.
Yeah.
yeah, when you,
Look at this shit. We could be going to Tennessee right now. Come on.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, definitely not having kids is good.
Yeah.
But it's
We used to want
like,
kids so bad, and like
yeah.
we
I think we talked about this last time. I think something like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, like, I mean, we can't have kids. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's like, you're so lucky you don't have kids and all that kind of stuff. And at some point, like now at this stage in our life, I think we
Like,
both
yes.
are like,
thank God.
yeah,
we
I don't
have
think we want kids. We even talked about adopting at one point, and now now even a little later
Yeah.
on, we're just like, maybe not. You
Yeah.
know? But like, so hearing that all the time is like, so lucky you don't have kids. Like, we wanted kids,
Yeah.
but like now it's like, well, maybe really didn't have, like, I'm
I
okay
know.
with that. And it was a little earlier for me to decide that than her, but yeah.
I think just being a girl in general, you're like
Right.
a little more sad about it than being a guy, because it's just, it is what it is. But I don't think I was ever like, I hear a lot of stories, infertility stories, because we tried everything. We did IUI. Well, we didn't do IVF because we were just like at that point, like we'd rather adopt than invest all this money into creating a child when you could save a child, like type deal.
Especially if it didn't work. Yeah, I mean, like,
Right. So, but just, I don't think I was ever, and maybe because it's been past for so long, I don't remember, but I don't think I was ever like super mortified and like traumatized and like crying in the corner. Like a lot of girls get really, 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 really upset if they can't have kids, but I mean, I guess I
We've
went
had
through
the
a
moments,
phase,
yeah.
but not like, it doesn't bother me. If somebody's like says anything about it, I'm not offended. I don't get offended by things like that.
Yeah.
But some people I think are like, you can almost tell that they're going to cry or something if you talk about it. And like, it's not like that for me. But I think it's because we're so busy in life.
mm-hmm.
I think being busy, like, helps you surpass all sorts of stuff until you have time. Until you have time, and then you're like,
for sure.
all these things you never worked out. You're like, I think I'm screwed up.
That's
Yeah.
what I was going to ask you a little
Yeah.
while. I've been waiting for my like.
Sorry.
No, you
No.
have nothing to apologize for. Like it waited for this time. What does slowing down look like for you? What happens when you slow down?
I almost get depressed.
Almost, and then you
Like-
speed right back up.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to find a project. Like at first it's nice, and then I guess it's not depression. I feel worthless. I feel like my purpose is like not there. And then I sit there and I think like, what, I didn't even do anything. Like, what did I accomplish today? Like, and then I start to get kind of depressed. I don't know.
Okay,
So, and what about you, Brandon?
that was quick. Go, boom! Now you.
Yeah, I was like, oh. No, she knows that
I don't like silence.
I'm the kind of person that's always in my own head, always, constantly. I have to be busy. I have to. Like, the worst parts of me are when I don't have anything. Like, don't have a purpose, don't have a goal, don't have a... I'm a little crazy. Yeah, I have to have something.
Paces the house. He'll be
Yeah,
like,
like,
I'm
I-
like,
I
what
need-
are you doing?
I have to have that. So, like,
Yeah.
as much as you want that vacation, or you want to slow down, or you want to go take a trip to New Orleans or Tennessee, or go to Florida, or go to Hawaii, like, that sounds good, and I do enjoy that, but it's not a long-term thing for me. Like, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go.
Do you have desire to slow down? Like, are you okay operating at this level, or do you have like a yearning to slow down and be able to enjoy some of those other things?
No, I don't even really know how to answer that question, because it's
So do you, like, because we go so fast, right?
Mhm.
And at some point we have awareness that we're going fast,
yeah,
right? For the majority of the time, you're not even, it's just normal. Like, this is life.
yeah.
And then at some point you realize, fuck, I kind of pace the fucking house. Like, I go fast all the time and I have to be busy. So we have awareness of it.
Yeah.
And then, like, presumably, and I'm not saying yes or no, or you have to, obviously, but like the next thing is like, is this good or bad? Like, is this something that I should change? Is there a problem here? And maybe there's not, but it's like, we have awareness, and then that awareness leads to what's next. Is it something that we want to shift and change, or is it something that we're like, yeah, this is just the way that I'm wired and I'm kind of okay with it?
I'm pretty sure it's the way I'm wired, man. I have to go. Like I enjoy the downtime. I enjoy being alone. I love that. I need that, you know, but like I can't have 3 days off in a row. I'll go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know what that is, but like we stopped taking jobs a month and a half ago, but like I'm slowly like taking little jobs so that I have something to do. I'm okay working until 10 at night sometimes, because like, especially when it's something I enjoy, or like I have a task or a deadline, or like my brain's okay doing that. I just put in music and listen and do my job for 12 hours a day. I'm okay with that. And then at the end, like when it's all done, yeah, I can have a couple of days off. Or it's really difficult for me if I don't have a vacation lined up or something like that, just to sit at home for a week.
Yeah, except for you're just not working, but we're still super busy with the move, and we're renovating our trailer, and like there's still no time off. He's just like,
what about you? Do you want to slow down?
I don't like to work 7 days a week. I don't. And when we were working, he's like constantly like wants to work, but I'm like, I want to take one day where like I think a lot of it started from just becoming sick, like getting physically sick from the chemicals and stuff like that. So I like to have a day or two off, but
and but
I don't like to have more than that. Like, just start to, I don't know.
Steph
maybe
and I can sit around all fucking day long. I feel like we're a bunch of lazy pieces of shit.
No,
like our favorite thing is like
you're just normal.
4 days, like a week, like the longer time period where what do we like? Sometimes we'll go for a walk, but like we'll go someplace and we'll camp somewhere. We'll go stay somewhere, but it's not like we're like hiking and adventuring. Like we're fucking like chilling.
I like to
taking
do that
naps
too.
And
no, we like to go camping and we like to do that
and
kind of
you love
stuff.
naps.
Dude, I'm a
Okay, that's
a
good.
He loves
Naposaurus Rex,
naps.
man. I'll hook it up.
Naposaurus.
Yeah, I can handle a nap. Yeah, I love naps, but
Yeah, I don't know. I do like my downtime.
yeah, and slowing down for me is difficult, for sure.
something to work on.
Yeah, no, I'm since we stopped taking clients and we are doing this move.
You know what? You probably go slow with jiu-jitsu. That's probably
I
where it
do.
comes
I
in.
do very.
You go so fucking slow, motherfucker.
I'm not the mash try to
You're
kill
not.
type fast
You're
paced
so
guy.
slow.
He's calculated.
He's
You
just
can
slow.
see it.
Yeah, I just don't.
And he slows down immediately. That makes a lot of sense. That's where you get it. Because
Okay.
we
Yeah,
have
I
to
didn't-
have a balance.
I never really thought of that. I mean,
Right.
like I know I am that way in jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I'm
And
not like that anywhere
If
else.
we don't
That's true.
consciously balance things, then our subconscious and our body and the universe, at least this is what I think, they'll do it for us. So a lot of times, like meditation is the ability to like slow your brain down to where it just gets to take a deep breath and relax. And if we don't actively meditate and have a practice of meditation, then our body creates that time. And we've all had those moments where we we're driving. When we're driving, we're drivers. We're Ricky Bobby and we're driving.
Yeah.
And you forget the exit. You don't know what's like.
Heck yeah.
Suddenly
Oh,
you're
yeah.
home and you're like, I don't even know how I fucking got here. That's your body
Sure.
taking over and being like, look, and here, asshole, we need to slow down a little bit. So it makes perfect sense that when you get on the mat,
Yeah, you know
everything
how
just
I am
goes
on that.
That does make sense.
super slow and like almost like annoyingly slow.
I
He
bet.
doesn't. You don't react the
Yeah.
way that like I was thinking about
99%
this
of people, yeah.
when we were fucking rolling last night, where it's like, do the thing that I want you to do, motherfucker, because
I know.
that's what everybody does, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a thing where you go this way and then you go that way, and then that gives me that I need to go this way. And sometimes you either just like take your sweet ass fucking time going that way to where, and then I got to do something else, or
Yeah.
you just don't go that way. You're so slow.
No, that's true. I know.
That's cool.
But that makes a lot of sense. Like I've talked
Yeah.
about that forever. Like anybody I ever roll with, like all the new people, they're like, "Oh, hey man, don't kill me." I'm like,
Trust
"Hold
me.
up, bro." It's like you don't have to worry about me. I don't give a fuck. You don't go crazy, and I won't. Man, it's all good. I'll turn it up to 30, but like I'm not that. I'm not that dude.
Yeah.
It might change in Tennessee. I was gonna have to change a little bit in Tennessee because I'm gonna have to test.
That's gonna be
myself.
fun.
I think maybe
Yeah.
too, because you're a teacher there, that you're always waiting for those opportunities to teach whoever you're rolling with. So letting them kind of control it so that you can, I don't know. I don't do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Go ahead, babe.
You have such a soothing voice.
I know. We love your voice,
Yes,
yeah.
it's like
Thanks.
way
And Craig
calming.
has a soothing voice too,
Yes,
but like yours
both
is,
of
yeah.
them.
It's like you both have like radio voices for
Yes.
sure. Like when I hear myself, I'm like, oh, fuck.
I know. I'm like, I don't even want to listen
But
to
like
this.
you guys have like a soft, calming, like chill.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Anyway,
Now
sorry.
ask your
Now you're
question,
You
on.
babe.
embarrassed
Yeah.
me. I don't think I can. I
You're
got
on
put on the
display.
spot.
Sorry.
No pressure.
It's fine. It's fine. Where do you find yours? Where do you find you going slow? Is it running? Is
Probably running, and I don't ever run fast. I just do jogs, and I listen to my body. If I feel like I need to slow down, I will, and I'll take a moment to just walk. And like, I like to run outside because then you can be in nature and like enjoy the moments of. Because you know how you get. I don't know if you are a runner at all, but anything with working out, like you get this body high, like you really get like you feel good. And when I get that moment, I like to slow down and enjoy it, and then I'll bring it back. So,
It's super good
That's
awareness.
very good.
yeah.
That's way cool to be able to be connected to your body
Yeah.
to that extent to where you can be like, I'm going to ride this thing out. I'm
Yeah.
going to slow down and enjoy this
Yes.
feeling right now.
That's the point of my runs. Like, but I do have times where I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to beat my time. And like, but then it's like, if I do that, I slowly stop wanting to get out of bed to go for my runs. And I think it's important for me to just do it. It doesn't have to be like, I don't have to beat my time. I don't have to run super fast or anything like that. Because it is literally my medication, is just exercise in general.
Yeah, I used to make fun of it all the time because like she'd be like, I'm going for a run, and that she's going outside. I'm like, okay, I'll see you in 2 hours, and it was always a joke, but like literally, like I'll see you in 3 hours because she takes her time, and it's like her slowdown time.
Yeah.
I believe that. I never even thought of that, but that's yeah.
I enjoy it. And I have friends that are like, oh, you should let me know next time. And I'm like, no, I can't go by myself. Sorry.
Yeah.
I like walks with people, but like, I don't know. I think it is my time. Yeah.
Mhm.
I get that.
Have you guys ever done any like, I mean, I hate to think of this as like press. This is not press, but like anything, interview, anything like that for the business before? So this is
Nope.
kind of the first?
Yeah.
I'm
it
so
is the
fucking
first.
excited.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think
It
we.
is the
Yeah.
first.
So
A little 5. I thought we were going to 5, and then you did that.
such a special
We
moment
do
for
hold
us.
hands, and we are
I love
very
it.
touchy. So I'm like, when did touch, like, how much is it missing from your lives?
I honestly think I just don't even know, actually. I was going to say, I honestly think, but then I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I really was that person. I was that person when we first met, and I think I'm not saying she doesn't like the affection or whatever, but for whatever reason, it was like not always, like don't always open the door for me. Don't
'Cause I'm a
always try to
control
hold
freak.
my hand. Don't, I don't.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool, okay, cool. And now I think I've gone too far that way, and now I'm just like,
He still opens the door for me all the time.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's a
That's
happy
nice.
medium in there.
Yes.
What was our sex game?
3 rounds.
3 rounds.
Yes.
Fuck is 3 rounds?
It's a great game.
good.
It's
a
So
great
good.
game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could go 3 rounds.
It's beautiful. We created it one
kidding.
night, and
Okay.
we talked about it on the podcast.
I think it's called 3 rounds.
I think it is called 3 rounds. Maybe anyways, the whole purpose of it is just to really slow down and connect to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the result after 3 rounds is like, oh my God, amazing, fucking groundbreaking sex.
I think we would
I
just
think I
laugh
get
at
the
each
3-round
other.
thing.
That's fun though, right? You can obviously laugh
Yeah.
and have fun, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it starts off really slow with intention and touch and all these kind of
Yeah.
things, and then eventually leads to.
You don't
3
remember,
rounds.
do you?
I do remember. I just don't
Yeah.
remember the specifics at this moment. That doesn't mean
see,
that I
see,
don't
see.
remember and I don't value it. I want to play
The
3 rounds right
You want
now.
to play right now?
15 fucking
first
rounds
round
right
This
now.
interview is over. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
It's, I'm going to say them.
Go
I'm going to say
ahead.
this much. Remember, the first round was the other person tells you where to touch them. And it's just like a soft touch. It's like, where do you want? Because it's not always the first place they go.
Yeah.
And so it's like over here. And so it's just like soft touch and just kind of like, and then it's back to the other person has their round. And then
Yeah, you take turns doing that.
Oh.
is the kissing next?
The first round is I
Shit,
tell
I
you
thought I
where I
remember.
want to be touched.
Yeah.
And then the second round is you tell
I-
me where you want to be touched.
And then
the third round is I get to touch and do whatever I want.
Whatever. Yeah.
that's right. So we could choose between
So it's-
touching or kissing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
So
makes
is that
sense.
technically like 4 rounds? Because you each get.
It doesn't
not
really
fucking
happen
science,
because
okay, asshole?
whoever gets the
Okay.
free for all usually is so
It's-
revved up we just take over.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
We had to
Like,
come up with a catchy fucking name
Yeah.
for it.
So 3
I'm
rounds
down.
and yeah.
I get. Okay. It doesn't. Okay.
It's a good
Yeah.
slowdown. It's great.
It took a,
Going 3 rounds tonight.
I'm excited.
No, we're
See?
not. Just kidding.
it just starts off like you're even not in the mood, just the little things.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then all of a sudden, like I said,
Yeah.
whoever ends up gets the free for all first is
That's
Yeah, that
Having
makes sense. I was like, well, you probably each get 1 round. Okay, no, that you're right. That third round is the round. Okay.
What else? Because we're going to wrap up.
Yeah.
We're going to promote the hell out of you guys
Thank
because
you.
Yeah, super
I
cool.
feel like there is massive potential, and I feel like the
Thank
two
you.
of you are the exact people to capitalize on it.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
You've done a wonderful job expressing yourself and sharing your when I think this will help in what's coming for you guys, right?
Yeah.
But speak up.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate to share your words because it's super valuable.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work on that because we're both.
There's
kinda
no
just
work. Just
humble,
fucking do
yeah.
it.
you can do it.
Yeah.
Every question you had a really good answer for.
Oh, well, thank you.
And so I'm really, really grateful that we got your first interview.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, thank you.
I think
for
a
having
lot
us,
of that
for sure.
comes from when you experience a lot of pain when you're younger. To get out of it, you have to understand who you are and what not to dwell on, I guess. Just because my dad and my brother died when I was younger. So I think that was a lot of being able to work on, or I would just not be sane at
Yeah.
all if you don't try to work on it. So
Yeah.
and I don't know why he's so crazy, but he just I literally instantly fell in love with him.
did you?
Aw.
He was
That's
19.
not true.
Yes, I did. I thought he was the craziest person. I was like, who is this guy? I'm like, I want to be your best friend right
She
now.
was the cool chick that used to buy me beer. I was 19.
No.
Whatever.
He was so freaking weird. And I was like, I
Was.
think I'm obsessed.
Still.
Yeah. And then I thought he was too young for me, but then I was like, I don't care.
Here we are.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
totally worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides all your social media stuff, is there anything else that you want to share? You guys don't have a website, do you? Not yet.
No,
No.
we don't have a website. I don't
That's going to change.
I don't know. We'll learn all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll see.
I just try to with social media focus on what I think people would want to see. It's important when you're trying to build your brand that you do post daily, but also try to not just post stuff no one's going to care about.
But now we have a whole adventure that
I know,
maybe
I'm
multiple
super
times
excited.
daily. That
Yeah.
it's a big deal
hmm
for us more than anybody else. But it's something cool
It's
to
super
see,
cool.
right?
I'm way excited,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to meet all the ghosts and
Oh, yeah.
learn all about them.
It's totally haunted.
Yeah.
Dude, there's
I
got to be
know.
so many dead people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally fucking haunted. We saw those
Seriously?
pictures, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the first thing that thought. It's amazing. Congratulations, you guys recreated the Notebook. I'm really happy. But that place is definitely fucking haunted.
Yeah.
Oh, it is for sure.
I
But
know.
that's fun. That'll be fun.
But I don't.
We'll come out and
Yeah.
just play with the ghosts for you,
Yeah.
and we'll
Yeah.
clear some
Yeah.
energy.
Yes,
and
Come on
yes,
out.
please
we'll
do.
do all that.
Oh,
fun stuff.
honestly,
Is that official? We got an
Yes,
invite. Let's go.
please.
Got an
Go.
in-
Yes.
I would
Yeah,
love
absolutely.
it. I would love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I always, my house growing up was haunted, and I could go a year on this subject. But I think since my dad and my little brother have died, I don't get scared anymore because I always feel like they're there and they would never let a scary ghost get me.
Yeah, you always say that.
I'm like,
yeah.
nope, Dad, don't let this happen when I get scared. So I'm not scared.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah,
Thank you
super
so much,
cool.
guys.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.